Welcome back to the Quiet Millionaire, where we don't chase wealth, we regulate into it. Ever notice how even rest feels like failure? Like if you take your foot off the gas, something important will slip by unnoticed, and you'll pay for it later. Ever feel like slowing down is more terrifying than burning out? Because somehow, for people like us, men and women who built what they have by doing, pushing, tightening, stillness doesn't feel safe. Ever wonder why urgency still runs your mornings, even when you know better? You could have $1 million in the bank and still wake up with that knot in your stomach, checking your notifications before you get out of bed. Maybe you close your laptop on a Friday, but all the unsaid numbers, emails, invisible scoreboards keep running loops in your head through the weekend. Today, we're not talking mindset. We're addressing what's underneath your money behavior. The cost isn't just exhaustion. It's a nervous system worn thin by self-demand, the kind where success doesn't settle. It stalks you. For entrepreneurs, the bank balance becomes just one more round of proof. Never enough, never finished. You push, then collapse, then judge yourself for needing rest at all. The discipline gets distorted. You think if you just find the next tactic, the next edge, finally you'll relax. But edges aren't home, and right now, your body knows it's never been allowed to arrive. This is where most people get stuck. So for these next minutes, drop the narrative you owe the world another ounce of hustle. I want you to notice how your jaw sits. Is it locked, tight, holding on? Relax it. Unclench your teeth. Let the back of your neck get heavy against the chair. Here, the nervous system gets to recalibrate. This isn't an escape. It's a return. Like letting your breath drop a little deeper, slow and even. That's the discipline. And it's how you begin to invite real confidence with money, not by force, but by order. Let that land. Here's the sabotage pattern. You already know it, even if you never named it. You treat money like it is always one step ahead of you, and you behave like you have to catch up. That feeling right now, behind your ribs, is not laziness. It's pressure that you've trained yourself to ignore. You push through fatigue. Keep stacking projects. Keep telling yourself, if you just get to the next milestone, then you can rest. But rest never shows up. So you've learned to survive inside the race. You've normalized burnout. Called it progress. Look at the small fractures. Checking Slack at dinner. Keeping your phone on in the shower. Apologizing to your team when you need half a day for a Dr. S appointment. Like your humanity is bad for business. That's how you know the pattern runs deep. Work stops being work. It becomes proof that you're valuable, that you're safe. Let that land. When urgency is your default, you start confusing movement for mastery. We reward urgency because it looks like discipline. It isn't. The nervous system gets trained to expect drama. Even basic tasks, opening the bank app, taking a call, reading a contract, start to feel like firefighting. You override hunger. You skip meals. Real joy starts to feel out of reach, or maybe even unsafe. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Here's a real-world example. You work until 8, skip dinner. Tell yourself you'll catch up on the weekend. At midnight, exhausted, you order food delivery and blow through twice what you'd normally spend, or you scroll and buy something you don't need, just to feel a jolt of relief. Emotional burnout becomes expensive. Poor sleep makes your mornings scattered. So you forget invoices or delay a financial decision you'd usually catch. This is how the cost adds up. High output, low presence, money leaking out where it should be. Pause there. The truth is, ambition isn't the enemy. But when you forget your worth comes first, always, before performance, you start using productivity as a shield. If you take nothing else from this, notice the pattern calmly, no judgment. That's the discipline. Now that we see it, let's shift. Rest isn't what slows wealth down. It's what allows wealth to build. When you internalize this, you start seeing the pattern, not just in your schedule, but in your decisions. Every time you skip real rest and call it progress, notice what happens next. Your thinking narrows, choices feel heavier. You spend 10 minutes scanning numbers, but don't trust what you see. That's not unique to you. That is a nervous system that is squeezed so tight it can't find stable ground. The new behavior here isn't complicated. It starts with one choice. Actual rest precedes important moves. Not all day. Not a vacation. 10, 15, 30 minutes away from stimulus. Phone down. Hands off the keyboard. Breathing returns to baseline. For a client last month, the shift was leaving the home office for a chair by the window every midday without a laptop. At first, he called it a waste. Then he noticed he bought less impulsively, sent fewer emails he regretted, and stopped arguing with invoices in his head. No fireworks, just less noise. Over time, small rests like these compound. You don't notice them building clarity until a moment arrives, a negotiation, a new price, a tense meeting, and your response isn't panicked. It's precise. That's safety in action. Here's what I want you to try. Before any financial choice, approve an expense, read a contract, reply to a payment request, pause. Place your hand on your chest or desk. Breathe all the way in, then out. Track one full inhale before you move. You aren't delaying. You're letting the water settle. In that small pocket, you're building the capacity to notice if a choice comes from agitation or order. Do this 10, 20, 100 times. Rest isn't an activity. It's a living container for clarity. It won't feel like a breakthrough. Let that land. There's nothing to prove. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. That's the discipline. Most people tie self-worth to performance. It's not seen as a conscious choice. It feels automatic, like a reflex. If the account is up, you're up. If a client leaves, you're low. This is captivity. You know it. The body feels it. Immediate. The breath gets shallow the minute a number drops, and you tense without realizing. That's the feedback loop working in real time. The body mirrors the scoreboard. Here's what I want you to try. Next time the external shifts, a deal falls through, a number comes in below target, pay attention to the sensation inside your chest. Drop into that moment. Notice your own heartbeat, steady, unchanged, regardless of zeros, contracts, or charts. That's your anchor, the world of numbers, transactions, and validation crashes around, but your base rhythm holds. This is the distinction. Money is noise. Your internal pulse, still there. Every breath in, every breath out, nothing removed. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Now, let's build this into actual behavior. Your old pattern reacts. Money goes down. I constrict, prove, rush. The new pattern observes. Money shifted. My heart stays steady. Nothing crumbles in me. The difference isn't the words. It's the order in your system. One follows the market nervously and abandons self. The other treats market data like weather. Data, not identity. That's the discipline. If this shows up in your week, pause there. See what it's like to move without tying value to performance. Open the notebook. Today, revenue dropped. My body still works. My breath is here. My pulse is steady. Lean into the repetition. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. That's the new capacity. You already know this. Worth is not measured by output. It is noticed in the quiet. Between each heartbeat, unchanged. Build around that. Let's flip this. Money isn't just a number to track. It's a relationship to steward. Most of us treat money like a problem to solve, scanning budgets, twitching at transaction alerts, watching our savings tick up or down. That's mechanical. That's what makes your mind tense up every time you log into your bank app. When you only see dollars as data, your body gets rigid. You brace for a hit. Maybe you flinch every time the rent leaves your account. Or you ignore your statements, telling yourself, I'll handle it later. That resistance, it's not lazy. It's your nervous system, still seeing money as a threat, not a partner. Peter Levine teaches safety first, strategy second. If you want real wealth stability, your body has to trust the rhythm, not the chase. Let that land. Here's where most people get stuck. They believe more tracking means more control. But the harder you grip, the less flow you feel. Picture a farmer clutching soil, dry, cold, bare. Compare that to the farmer who tills gently, waters consistently, works with the field seasons and rests, steady partnership over violence. Your bank account responds the same. Treat it like a scoreboard. It's always an opponent. Treat it like partnership. It grows quietly alongside you. Try this next week. Look at your savings account as a partner, not a finish line, not a trophy, but a relationship. When you transfer in $50, pause. Notice how your chest feels. Are you dropping in it with pride or pressure, with gratitude or guilt? None of those are wrong, but seeing the emotion, witnessing it, that's the discipline. Over months, this changes what saving feels like. No longer punishment for spending. No longer a desperate catch-up game. Instead, stewardship, calm, repeated attention. Even when you skip a month, the relationship is intact. Like a friend who trusts you'll return. This is where real nervous. System change lives. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. Money, as an ally, stops pulling you into fight or flight. It sits by your side. That's the quiet shift. You already know this. Nothing about building real wealth requires noise. We started by naming the exhaustion. That felt tension every time you check the bank balance, say yes to the extra project, or think about slowing down, but don't. That's evidence, not something broken. Just the nervous system trying to stay safe using old patterns. Let that land. What became clear tonight? Real change happens quietly. No more forcing rest. Just letting yourself have it. No more tying who you are to what you get. Done. You're not a number on a spreadsheet or a total at the end of month. Each quiet shift tonight was structural. Allow rest before clarity. Separate worth from outcome. Relate to money as an ally. Stop battling your own tools. Anchor that. Here's what I want you to try. Notice in the next week. Where, specifically, does tension spike when money comes up? Not as a flaw, as information. Slow it down. Ask yourself, where can rest support my next financial choice? Even just a pause is enough to change the pattern. That's the discipline. These aren't ideas. This is your nervous system learning how safety feels. There's nothing to prove. Just the clarity of not abandoning yourself, especially when it's inconvenient. Each moment of rest is structure. Each time you notice urgency, you reclaim a bit of you that hustling told to disappear. That's the foundation. Let it settle. Forward-facing anchoring. I choose rest and it deepens my clarity. My decisions belong to me, not to urgency. Money is a tool, stable, not scarce. My value stands, even without performance. I slow down and answers come. I honor rhythm. I reject the myth of hustle. Capacity is my ROI. Inner steadiness is progress. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity.